Let me start this video by saying Merry Christmas to everyone. Did not know Santa played golf. Go figure. That makes sense. Bobby Jones definitely know he did. And this quote from him, I've heard, I just didn't know it was his and what it says in his pictures. But it says golf is played mainly on a 5.5-inch course, the space between your ears. And I've heard that in many different ways, but always a big fan of Bobby Jones. You got Freddie Couples here, his 1974 trophy. You got, not Freddie Couples, Gary Player. My bad. Freddie Couples is over here. And he just shot a 60 at like 63 not long ago. Best round he ever had, and he's 63. That's encouraging, right? When we come down, I'm going to show you the office, the front office here. This is a trophy from 1980s in Palm Springs that somebody won, and now I have. Funky putter here, a couple of funky putters. That's why they're up there. Total view, it has a big arch to it. The one behind it is called a fringe putter, basically just a chipper. And then this is an ice thing. You put ice in it from the 60s, a golf ice bucket, I guess. This old putter here is just a trip. One I have like that has a ball on it. These balls came out of this bag, which I picked up just earlier today. It's a leather Spalding bag. Has a little bit of leather that's bad, but man, I just couldn't leave it. They'd say it's only $6. It's not really all that usable, but too nice to leave a leather bag like that. Speaking of nice bags, I like this Cobra. It's a demo bag. Great big old bag, good for what it is, and I think just cool. Inside of it, I mainly have A.G. Spalding clubs. That's what you're seeing all up front here. Some of these aren't, though. I mean, this smooth face one is not identified. It's just smooth face. So turn of the century hickory stick. And there's a couple other hickory sticks. Most of my hickory sticks are at home. That's where I keep those. And then you got some of the older faces, as you can see in here. Is this one Wilson or? Oh, Bristol. Okay, St. Andrews. Another St. Andrews. There's a Wilson. Another St. Andrews. Well, that's cool stuff. There's another Wilson right there. And then we got Stan Thomas. A couple of his putters in here, probably from the 50s and then the 60s. The putters, the clubs are probably from the 60s, maybe 50s. Stan Thompson, I'm going to jump over. He learned to do clubs from Kenneth Smith, one of my favorites. Kenny just always just beautiful woods. Ivory sometimes is used in there. And everything's custom made. Everything's registered, has, their name on it or their initials on it, of course, made to fit them. And, the metal furls and stuff like that. And sometimes he has wood grips, carved out wood grips. Totally cool. Everything's registered, and that takes me back to, I'm going to go back to Bobby Jones' little story there. I had heard that he went to St. Andrews, I think, for the first time, and someone stole his clubs. And then they found him later at a thrift store, I guess, or something like that. I think they did find him, but from then on, they started to register. So these are his clubs, his type of clubs. They're registered Spaldings. And these are the ones that are sized. It's like every two clubs are the same size instead of being like a half-inch difference. Everything's the same size. And he came up with that idea. The cart that it's in is probably from the 30s and 40s, an old school cool cart and bag, right? And anyhow, that's the type of clubs he was using back then. Next to him, some H&B stuff. I love the faces on these persimmons. Just, detail. Everything back then, they had to hammer out all this stuff, right? The forged irons were hammered until they got the technology up and running. Coming over to the McGregor MT tourneys, there's a bunch of McGregors behind me, a bunch of them at home. Have a lot of McGregors, but these MT2s tourneys. All right, then we're coming into Walter Hagen stuff. Couple of putters like the Blackjack. This putter here, look at this grip. What they used to do with these pistol grips, this is a piece of wood back here that they just, added to it to give it that feel. I love the pistol grips. Some of his muscle backs, excellent shape muscle backs. These are probably 30, 40s. And for those clubs, then you got the Walter Hagens, which still, let's see if we're hitting this right. I love how he has the caps on these and the grips are still in excellent shape. The leather grips, the bands, the heads, just, super nice clubs. I figure out what to do with those. Some more Walter Hagen's. This Sand Glider has a concave sole on it. I think it's the only one I have like that. Well, that's from Walter Hagen, I should say. And then you have these international clubs, which are awesome. The Walter Hagen International and this Intruder, kind of like a ding-a-ling or a ping where it makes a sound. It's a nice Walter Hagen. I think I only have one of those as well. So back up to him. Yeah, of course, King Cobra. It's a head cover. Scotty Cameron belly putter, 21-inch grip. Up here is a Beeline putter. It's a lefty, and I don't know how old that thing is. I think based on what I'm looking at, it's probably 30s. Back when they used to do a lot of stuff in the 20s too, but metal shaft started in late 20s, became more popular in the 30s. Then you got a Ping. It is made in Phoenix. I think that's maybe an A1. I forget it. Let me just go over to the other Pings instead of taking time to get back into that. So these are Ping 69 putters. They're actually made in 62. I think 62 was the first year that Ping actually won a tournament with one of their putters. They started in 59, so that's actually pretty good. Again, you got, cool grip, pistol grip going on there, new and old. Some of the old trophies back there. That one's 1996 DC Memorial. I forget what some of the other ones are. They even look older yet. Probably one of my oldest clubs is this one right here. Then next to them is Mr. 59 Invitational. These are the TP Mills, a 2 and a 3, Spalding 2 and 3s that have the Mr. 59 Invitationals on them. That's an old phone. I don't think's ever been used. Great shape. McGregor caddy bag. I got a few of the caddy bags. Love them. They still sell for like $100. Some people use them for trash cans, as I do. I got this one that's kind of beat up, using it for a trash can down there. Here's the Spanish Hills. This is out of Camarillo, California. It's in Ventura County, just north of LA. We used to live in Camarillo in Sterling Hills. Spanish Hills was the private club next to us. And I love that bag for that reason, I guess. So some of the putter heads in here, we got I got Scotty Cameron Titleist there. We got a Los Angeles Police Department one. Behind that's a Bobby Jones Cobra, or Bobby Grace, I'm sorry. Sorry, Bobby Grace. We got a bunch of Bobby stuff in here. So Bobby Grace, it's a Cobra. Nice putter. It needs a shaft. These two are, M. What is it? And G, I forget. You know what? They're nice. So this one is super nice. Can't wait to get this one. This will take a look and see what it is. But look at the milling work on that thing. Oh, there you go. Get it back up in there. So yeah, but Gurna Carlsbad. It's actually, there's another name I was thinking. The M. This is a 370G. M is, my head's not getting there. It's not McGregor, but there's McGregor, and that's another Bobby Grace putter head that needs a shaft. We got a few of these in the back. This one had a shaft. I don't know what happened to it. Kenny G. You got Bobby Grace, and you got Kenny G. This is September 92 tour milled. And then we get in some, another Spalding, the TP Mills. This is a TP1. So we got the 2 and the 3 up there. A TP1 down here. So, but I got a bunch of these in the back. This one here has different finish on it. Then a couple of Murrays. Murray came out of Newport. He was a pro, also made some stuff. So Ken Murray, the IMG USA, another Murray. I got a couple of others per USA. I love this when they do that. And some TaylorMades I need to find a home for, trying to find sets for, I should say. These last two aren't TaylorMades. They're Callaway's Apex UTs, utility woods. And let's see. We have Disneyland, Mickey Mouse, bobblehead, and the balls, and pitcher of Cypress, and then an old lamp that works behind it's a 911, never forget. In the corner here, we got these are Ping-Ai 2s from 1990, April. So it's right on the cusp of whether or not they were legal or not. But I found the box, opened it, called them with the number, didn't take anything out. So they are never been out of the box, except for as high as I got that out. The 8 is out, but it's orange dot 3 through sand wedge that are in that box. This guy, I guess, had 4 sets of them. This is one of his last sets, and again, it's an orange. Then we get in some Scottish clubs. You know, we're talking about Morris and made in Scotland type clubs for the most part. A couple of English clubs as well. And then, is that a Seymour in there? Signed by somebody. Yeah, it's a Seymour that's signed. I'm surprised Seymour doesn't have more popularity. For a while there, they were winning. Probably 2010, 11, 12, they started winning. So up here we got, I got a bunch of Seymours. That's why that came out of me there. But I have a lot of Seymour putters that are brand new, like new. I haven't really put them out on the market, but they are nice, well-made stuff. All right, so Scotland, and these are balls from like Lady Di, Queen, whatever, Scottish type of balls that I happen to have, or Scottish, English, whatever it might be. Golden Scott, but I put those there. I want to get balls up. I got racks I need to finish out with my balls that I have. All right, more Scottish clubs, a mess over there. I'm going to skip over my desk because it's also a mess and jump into some of my Bob Hope classic stuff. You know, before I do that, I showed you the Bob Hope putter over there, didn't I? Well, we're coming into, you'll see another one just like it. Chrysler Classic. That's all what those are. Chrysler Classic. He also worked for Texaco and used to do commercials, I think 70s, 80s. So I have some Texaco putters that are Bob Hope Classic Texaco, but what are they? Matzy? I think they're Matzy Velvet Touch. I'm coming around to it. Just will do that here now. So yeah, the Matzy Velvet Touch. A couple of these. Got a couple of these on sticks, and then two of them shafted, 3 of them aren't. Cool putters, Bob Hope stuff. And then you got the Gitneys in here. So Gitney is Stan Thompson. Stan Thompson, again, used to work for, I don't know if I mentioned that, used to work for Kenneth Smith, then moved to L.A., and when he got to L.A., he used to, custom clubs for, some of the famous, because that's what Bob Hope primarily used. Would have been a set probably like this. I don't know if he used the Gitneys or not. This has been late 80s. Certainly could have. Low profile. Came into fashion, out of fashion. I hear it's coming back again. These up here are new old stock. They still have the plastic on the handles. And never been used, never been hit. This one is the only one I took the top off of this one because I think it's the only one that has been hit. It doesn't have the plastic on the grip anymore. But this is where Big Bertha came from. You can see this design right here. They had a patent on that rescue club or whatever you might want to call that. And it became quite popular. He sold quite a few of them. And then he passed away in the late 80s. And after that, Callaway bought the patent and Big Bertha. There you go. Now you can probably see it as I say that. All right, so in this bag, nice old Callaway bag. I was talking about Callaways. It has mainly Tiger Woods Nike clubs. They don't make Nikes anymore. So I'm pulling these out, setting them aside. And I don't think I talked about these in here. These are the John Reuter's Acushnet. Acushnet is a rubber company, huge, right? But they start out making balls, and then they partnered with John, or bought them, I'm not sure. And the bullseyes, or Acushnet, for the most part, that's what you see. These would be pre-Acushnet. So these mostly are 1940 clubs. Not all of them. Like this one here is in there just because it's the only one I have like that. And I probably have 200 bullseyes, but it's the only one that has this open back to it. So another thing to look for too is sometimes they have a profile, which means they'll have a little longer shaft here. And some people consider these to be some of the best putters ever made. I have to admit, if you hit them right, they're great. But they let you know when you hit them wrong too. So they got a sweet spot like everything, right? And all right, so now we'll get into a little more. I'll back up a little bit. This is a Hot Z bag. Am I getting that right? That the Stan Thompsons are in. That is an old Demon putter by Stan. Oh, I like that name, but there it is. Oh, these. I don't think I talked about these. These down here are some more of the Scottish clubs. And they're called Rangefinder Rapier. Rapier? Rapier. Rapier. Huge old patent number on it. Donaldson Manufacturing. But Jack the Giant Killer is what it says here. Although look at the ferrule on this thing. I love how long that thing is, and I don't know what it's made out of. Also, this is again wood, as I explained in the other one. The pistol grip has a longer piece of wood added to it, and they tape it up. Some older putter. There's another one of the Texaco putters, Madsey. It's out of LA is where that's from. This diamond head's kind of cool. Inverted diamond head. All right. Diamond head golf. But the bags are great. I love the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic bags. You got this one that leads me into the other two over here. And this one on the left is, I think, new old stock, never been used except for what I put in it. This one here looks like it was used some, but it's still excellent shape. Both have their head covers. This one has, I think, has a towel, as you see, but also has like 4 head covers in it that have never been used. When I say head covers, I meant say rain covers for both of them. All of them have rain covers. This one too, I think this is probably from the 80s, this bag. And well made. Again, I think this one is probably a Texaco, Bob Hope Classic Texaco. And then he went to Chrysler. And all 3 of these other ones are Chrysler. All right. So in this first Chrysler bag over here, or Bob Hope bag, we have the Dallas Golf Company persimmons. So they are Texas, right? Of course, Dallas, but they're not, or they don't say Wood Brothers. So I'm not sure about these, although they still have the plastic, so it's new old stock. But Dallas Golf Company, I just couldn't find out much about them. Probably got to look a little harder to find out more on the research. Mainly McGregor's in here. There's some other stuff mixed in, some Cleveland's and First Flight, which kind of ended probably in the 50s for the most part. These are probably from the 70s. XLRs are probably late 70s, I'm guessing. The Spaldings, this probably is a 30s club. Well, you got the Turf Rider Wilsons back here. Cool soles on these, an H&B persimmon. All right, then we got the Hogan coming into the Hogan bag. Medallion bag still has the tag on it, just probably 80s, I'm guessing, maybe late 80s. And then you got medallions in there. Happens to have mainly medallions, white, the copper. Got the black faces. They're all, I think, in here. And then you have these Apex, which are just, I love Hogan's. Big fan of Hogan's. And speaking of that, just go to the next bag. Love this bag. Red, white, and blue. Knowing what they're doing there. You got the radios. You got the, God, what are these called? They're the Edge, but CFTs. I think a CFT is correct. And some other ones mixed in there. Yeah, CFTs is what primarily that, and the radios are in that bag. Gorgeous old bag. Now, this bag down here is SC. It's a McGregor bag with SC on there. Probably getting 80s would be my guess. The clubs that are in are McGregor. These are the 400 Jack Nicklaus. And then I think, let's see what the other ones are. Oh, Byron Nelsons. The Byron Nelsons are in there as well. And then you see these shoes look like these are FootJoys, which Acushnet owns FootJoy and they own Titleist. Okay, so these FootJoys I don't think ever been worn. USC, we got UCLA, we have the BYU, Chicago Bears, Navy, one head cover there. We got the Longhorns, and we got Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. And then let's get back to the pings. Okay, so in this ping bag are mainly Anser putters and Dell heads. And how you can tell a Dell head is by the slope here. See this slope, the gradual like this, that's a Dell head style, where they have Ansers that, I think these are all Dell heads that are in here. Yeah, they are. But let's see. I think I right here might have one. Yeah, one of these should be. Okay. So when you look at this, I'm trying to get my hands free here. You can see how that one is more abrupt than this one has a slope. So this would be Dell head on the right, and this one is the less expensive Anser style. Still great putters. I mean, everything's made off of these. They've been for years king of the, I don't know, blades, I guess you'd call them. Speaking of blades, going to glides up in this nice Titleist flag bag. It does have this little bit of stuff going on, which is typical for that, but the rest of it's in just great shape. Titleist again, a cushionette, which is bullseye and all that stuff. But in this bag are glides, glide 3s, glides 2s, glides alone, just other pitching wedges from Ping. And behind there, okay, we got the Happy here, Brainstorm Golf. This is a tour model Happy. Cool club, engineer club, I call it, because it has like 6 different adjustments. You change the face, you can change the light, you can do all kinds of things with that. Then you got the Yes stuff going on, Yes technology. There's that one there. There's this one over here, which is a wine. Yeah, it's a wine one, but I like how they line it up. You have to line up the colors, which is something that Seymour does too. You know, it's kind of where they come from. You got some Cleveland clubs in there. Oh, the triangles. Let's not forget, these are nice clubs, really. Bermuda triangles. I think I'm saying that right, but it's oh, there it is, Ashton Golf. So there's a couple of these in the other room. These happen to be out front here. The Mizunos, always great clubs. They got the Ping G25s with an I-15 in there, and then they're mixing with the King Oversize. Then you got Wilson Staff. Oh, well, no, R90s. Okay, so the original R90s, this R20s, R90s are, to me, collectible and keepers. Maybe not to everybody, but I like them. These are cool, too. These are the TaylorMade, where these screws come out, and you can change the face out. You guys are probably familiar with that. Some may not be, so I'm going ahead and mentioning that. Yeah, so that's what these are. There's some more faces in the shop area. I mentioned books. I think I mentioned books. I got a lot of books. Thousands of golf books. Old, new, mainly old, I'd have to say. So this putter's kind of cool. It's natural. It's called Natural. It has a square handle to it. Straight, no step shaft. Little tiny head. The Natural, I think it's called. And then this one over here, I don't know who made it. It doesn't say. But it also has a handmade wooden square shaft on it. Then this one here is pretty cool too. The Putter Professor. Patent number and everything else. Hanging out up here is kind of a rare, another funky putter there. All right, so we kind of jumped here a little bit, but we got some, nothing really to talk about. Oh, more Nikes. Always got the Nikes are worth talking about, I guess, because you just don't see them anymore. Then you got the 8802 Napa style putters, which who's not a fan? They were king after the bullseye. Well, then you had the Ansers come into play too, but these are running in the 50s and 60s quite well, and still do very, very, very popular. You had the Cleveland, you got the Ram, you had Sportsman, then the Wilsons, all the Wilson Tour stuff. McGregor did too. There's again the Cleveland, G-Lo. George Lowe type stuff, Arnold Palmer, personal, Staff, love Staff stuff, Lynx, who didn't do it? They all did. I'll come back to Kenny G, but I mean up here is a bunch more. Now, one thing, I'll start on this end, I guess. You got G-Lo again, George Lowe, 600 McGregor Jack. That's the one I have like that. And I got 2 of these, the Merrifields, which love McGregor. All right, Tony Pena right there with my love for McGregor, then Callaway. All right, so Callaway, this is the original. So it's a remake, but beautiful condition. Probably 250. It's about what I see in this type of shape. At 250 seems like a good price on it. And the Wilson staff, and you get into the 8802 that's all milled and everything, and they're also 250, 300, 350. It probably started out at 150, but they sold out so quick. That's what makes them desirable again. Down here too, nice to know, like the Wilsons that red, if it says red Wilson, hopefully you can see that. I don't know if I'm in there. No, I think my sticks are in the way. But when it has Wilson with the red, you know that's real. The other one's black, so it may be fake, but the shaft's all the same size. I'm not sure. Okay, I got to look into that some more. But when it says the black, Wilson in red, and an 8802, those are original. Well, the next one's just the Wilson 8802 is all black. All right, well, enough about that. Let's drop into Bobby Grace again, one of his putters. Is this another... All right, so this is a 2200. I don't know if this is for anybody. Just one of his personals, I think. Yeah, it has a sticker up there, so I'm guessing that's right. Next to it is probably pre-1992 because it is a Titleist tour model made by Scotty Cameron before Scotty became his own company in 92 and then started putting his name on her, which is what happened as I talked about this Mizuno down here. So I may have already went into all of that. So it's a 1993 program they made for Mizuno by Scotty Cameron, and they made 150 of those, but that's just after he started going. All right, so a Mizuno Bettinari, another Mizuno 8804, cool, unique club. And then let's get into some of Kenny G stuff, as I say. And Kenny is Gianni. I don't know. I thought maybe he retired, but I'm not positive what's going on with him. I need to do research on it. But some new old stock still have the plastic on them. You know, blades. And geez, nice and heavy gloves. I like that. I love the mallet too. But he used to do this. And I think he retired, and then that's when Scotty picked up doing that same thing. Here's another guy out of Newport. Was out of Newport. He passed away. Rest in peace. This is Kenny Murphy. I showed you some of his over there. It's a 2009 Chill. Murray. Did I say Murray? I think he was a professional, and he started making clubs. And he had a buddy that he worked with. Beverly Hills. I thought I said Newport. But, yeah, Tour Choice, Beverly Hills. You can see some of Scotty in that work. Seymour hanging out in there. The Kenny G head covers. Got a bunch of those, boxes of them. All right, then more McGregor stuff. Look at this. The big B on there stands for Brunswick. Beautiful condition. Beautiful wood finish. Again, always a fan. So this is 653s. I got some 659s at home. Most of my McGregor stuff's at home, not here. This is custom made stuff. Jack Nicklaus on the backside. All right, so Hopkins. We'll jump into that. Some people use the Hopkins. Some of the pros do. Have a bunch of heads that are not shafted. You know, they're. I don't know if they're even. I can't tell you a lot about them. Look at all the work on that. Someone just pounded a bunch of stuff in there. This one here, this grip, it's called Grip. Great milled face on it, but I couldn't find out much about it. So Grip stands for Golf Research in Play. Then these S's, what do they stand for? It's S stands for something. I can't remember now. Oh, maybe it has it on a band. Nope, no bands. S stands for like, not stoked. What is it? Oh, maybe this one says. Nope. I forget. So I don't remember what that stands for. Titleist, of course. We're in Sacramento, and currently Sacramento State, the Hornets football team. It says football down here on it. Hornet football. They're playing for the championship, or either a game away from doing that. It's a gap wedge for them. Then we got Chumash, which is a casino, Indian casino down just north of Santa Barbara. where my wife's family from, and my daughter lives down in Santa Barbara. So anyhow, this is for the casino down there. Found that, it's kind of like that. Most of these clubs came out of a Gary Player. Most of these clubs came out of Palm Springs. So how they got there, I'm not quite sure. Okay, so more of the Vokey stuff. You know, you got the 8, the 7s, just, you know, the spin milled stuff, of course. And you got another Glide over here. The I'm probably talking too much. Sandy Andy. Always got to mention him. Sandy Andy R61. Only one I think I have of this, and I got a lot of pitching wedges, but that's the only Sandy Andy I have as far as I know so far. Still got more to put my hands on. Ben Hogan. The Dingalings, which are the 1940s. Burke Dingalings. Shafts in the back here. Shafts, $100 easy. Most of them are more than that. You got your burner 2.0s are hugely popular. Already sold 2 sets, only got 1 left and some extras and the regular burners. All right, then you got the burner mid-size, the older school stuff at RBZs, the putters, TaylorMade putters, that is. HOG got a bunch of their putters, but here's one of their pitching wedges. Big shaft is what they're kind of known for, Cleveland in there. Then you got the TaylorMades, the Tour blades, even though they're not blades. I don't know why they call them blades when they're cavity backs, but they are blades, Tour blades. All right. And Speed Blade, again, cavity back. Why are they calling them blades? All right, so then you got your Callaway stuff back here, some nice Callaways. I'm probably taking too long getting into this. Some R11s, more burner, a little older, probably turn our burner pluses. Super launch, you know, get it off the ground. Tony Lima, square toes. These are hard to find, these Golden Gates, and made by a company out of the Bay Area, F&J, Franquist, and whatever it is, I forget what they are. But these, this little company out of the Bay is who Ping used to make their putters through when they were in Redwood City, just north of the Bay. It was these guys that I think did most of their putter work for them, to begin with anyway, until they moved. You got McGregor's back here. You got Tony Pena, another Pena. CF 4000s, I assume people know what those are. The ceramic fired 4,000 degrees face, the black faces. When those irons came out in the 60s, they were twice as much. Normal set would be, a set of irons would be like $80. Those are 160. And so you had to have money. I mean, now it's probably like 3,000 or more that would be this day and age, if not more than that, probably 4,000. But yeah, just like the Pings, when they came out, they're $400. Well, that was like 2,000 now, and that's in the 80s. So I'm going to guess that's probably right, that those were quite expensive, and people either knew you were a good golfer if you had that black face, or you had money. And it could be both, right? Some older McGregor's back there. Callaways. This is where Callaway got his start, is what I understand. These hickory sticks. This one's Izoid. He was selling them out of the trunk of his car, the hickory stick wedges, and you know, we got putters, which I'm a fan of. And then, you know, he got into the Big Bertha, and all that happened for him. And I'm glad it did. I'm a big fan of Callaway. Shout out to Callaway, right? Okay, then down here we got some Top Flight Spaldings. You have the Power Built. Those are the Australian blade, right? Or Scottish blade citations. A nice muscle back. And there's some of the older stuff. And there's these Parlay drivers, driving irons. 2 of these. Funky. The Mike Kozar with the true leather caps on them are pretty cool. I said Top Flights. You got Wilson, Sam Snead, Blue Ridge, excellent shape, just beautiful set of clubs. I love it when I see it like that. We got the Golfcraft Pro Model, Champion Pro Model. Golfcraft made, really, I'm a big fan of a lot of their mallets. Like this Ojai Special one, I got a couple at home as well. Probably have about a dozen or so of those. And those are mainly by Frank, is it Johnson, I think, or something like that. Okay, so Crowy Flight, jumping over to Spalding's. McGregor. The Murrayfields are, I think, famous. Yeah, Cadillac putter, a couple of the 8802 type, or you know, it might be IMGs actually. Same thing, isn't it? Right? Palmer, the original. Yeah, just sitting here. I want to melon out. Over here is a Wilson 1200 twisted shafts. That's not the right name for it. You can tell they're red, so they're stiff. In this old Riviera cart bag, which I consider pretty cool. Only one of those I have. I know they're around like $100, not a big deal. Riviera plates from 79 and 80. We got the 11th at Augusta by Mark King. And then we got Jack and Arnold, or Arnold and Jack, walking, playing, and signing, which is always good. Okay, that's that. I'm going to stop for now and I'll take you the rest of the way.